Hello, sausages. It's been a while, hasn't it? That's because I've been a busy boy. So I'm just doing this quick video on my YouTube channel. I've unlisted it, so hopefully I'm not going to get too many heckles or stuff like that.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Kicked off my Alexa. I just wanted to update you on what has been an amazing couple of weeks in my life. I can't believe that it's a week ago today since I got back from Canada and have since played a wedding and had a brilliant time at Festival. So it's been amazing. It's been really busy. I just want to thank everyone that's supported me back at home, my family, Laura, my dad, all my PAs. You know who you are, because I wouldn't have been able to do it without you guys. I really appreciate you being there and backing me up and making it all kind of happen. So I'm going to give you a quick whirlwind of some of the stuff. I will probably do another video on Patreon, which will just be for members, with some pictures from my photo album and stuff like that. But I figured because it's on YouTube, I didn't necessarily want to share everything on YouTube, and that's why I do Patreon, just so you get more of a bit more detail. But I love YouTube too, because I reach out to so many beautiful people like yourselves. So I'm really proud of my timing. My timing was pretty spot on for the last 2 weeks, and timing is really important to me because obviously I rely on lots of people to help and support me, and just timekeeping is a bit of a thing, being able to juggle and plan ahead. So timing's been pretty good. We landed at Heathrow Airport to go to Canada on the Saturday, and we got there at like 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. We didn't need to be checking in till 11 because the flight wasn't till 2, but with access and changing places, toilets and all that kind of malarkey, it can take ages, and yeah, things go wrong. And although I did have some brilliant staff at Heathrow who really supported me, Jason, big thank you to you. Stuart, big thank you to you. Craig, big thank you to you. And the team that came and met me and helped resolve issues, thank you. There are changing places toilets all over Heathrow Airport, but they are Heathrow Airport's biggest kept secret. Staff don't know about it. Yeah, we've got to do a big awareness raising campaign about changing places toilet. Mainly because I think the name, but I'd be interested to know what you think about that, but we'll talk about that another time. Anyway, we had a bit of a kerfuffle with the toilets. Tune in on Patreon, you can find out all about that and how we resolved it. But anyway, we did, and there was a workaround. So that was cool. The journey was brilliant. We flew with Air Canada. They're really good at looking after the chair, which was great. That's the second time I've flown with them, and they were tops. The seats are not that comfortable, but it was all right with my own cushion and stuff like that. It's like an 8-hour flight. If you go the next one up from economy, I think it's premium economy, you get like a little remote. And last time I did that, and this time I didn't, and I missed the remote because I wasn't able to change the films and stuff. And so I just watched the flight journey this time. It was really lovely. I've got some photos. I'll show you those. When we landed at Montreal, allegedly there was a changing places toilet there, and I haven't really gone internationally. Sorry, this YouTube's all about toilets. Don't know why. Lucky you. Yeah, but there was a changing places toilet at Canada. Again, the staff weren't that aware of it. Even when we buzzed the button outside the changing places toilet. The person who answered it didn't really know what I meant, but they knew where I was, and they came out, and when they were at the door, I explained them. Oh, okay. So, you know, there's a lot of work to be done around what changing places toilet is. Essentially, for you that are a bit confused about what I'm banging on about changing places toilet, the best way I describe it is by calling it advanced accessibility features. So it's not just about a bigger room. It's got stuff in that I need to use. So I use a hoist, and it's on the ceiling. It's a trap hoist. It's got other things that people might need, so that, you know, if you've just got a room and it's a bit bigger, it can be quite indignifying if there's not a bed or a hoist or whatever. You need lots of people. So anyway, changing places toilet essentially is advanced access features. Yeah, it's like a premium accessible loo. So the journey was great. We, for those of you that want to know, in Montreal, the key to the changing places toilet at Montreal Airport is to go to not gate but door. So when you get out the gates, go to door 23, which is where you get the taxis from, and right across from there is the changing places toilet. You buzz the buzzer and then someone will come and let you in, and it works. It's really lovely. It's great. So anyway, travel in Canada was really good. Every taxi that I used, I was up front next to the driver, which was really lovely because we were able to have a chat, and I got a better view out the window. So I'm sorry for Dave, who was travelling with me, because he got the back seat and could only see out the side, and I had the lovely front window, so I could see around Montreal as we drove. And the drivers were really lovely. They were really helpful. It was great. I mean, it took a bit to book them and get them. You had to wait a little bit. They weren't as readily as available as maybe they are in London, but they were there and they were brilliant. So yeah, I took loads of gear with me because I was working on the Telecaster. We had a gig and we were doing a conference. It was one of the main reasons I was out there was because of the International Society of Music Education. I did a panel discussion out there, and that was lovely. I'll tell you more about that on the Patreon and what we covered. But I took loads of gear because we were working all the time. It wasn't really a holiday, it was a kind of working thing. We got to the hotel sort of late afternoon. I guess it was about 6 o'clock Eastern time in Canada, and we were at a lovely Hilton, which is right in the centre of downtown. Unfortunately, despite Adam working so hard to get the room to be as perfect as possible, they told us that the hoist would go under the bed, and it didn't. And that is again quite a common issue when disabled people travel and they need a hoist. You can't get it under the bed because it's a solid base. So we had to work that out, but we did. The hotel was beautiful, smack bang in the centre, about a 10-minute walk to the convention centre where the conference was. All perfect because it's just easier to be able to walk to places when you get there. Hotel was brilliant, apart from the bed. Really, really lovely. And I did a lot of my work in the room on the Telecaster with Stefan. Lovely to meet Stefan. Lovely to meet everyone in Toronto. Kurt, and we missed Jason. All the people's names I'm mentioning deserve massive thank yous because they were just so brilliant. But yeah, Stefan, big up. We did loads of work in the room on the new developments around the Telecaster. Again, I'll tell you more about that on Patreon. We went for a little walk on the Sunday after watching Kerry lose the All Ireland to Mayo. Congratulations, Mayo. Delighted you won it. Heartbroken we lost it, but it was a great match. So anyway, we went off to the French Quarters to meet Gift and Miss Jackie and Erin and Heather Who else was there? There was a little group of us there. It was really, really lovely. And we had a lovely, lovely meal. And the restaurant was packed. There was queues everywhere, but Gift worked his magic and got us in there, which was great. I had some Guinness. Great. First few pints. Monday, we did a meet and greet, and it was like international. I met people from the United Arab Emirates and from Finland and from the States and a lot of people from Canada, obviously. And we talked about a number of the projects that we're hoping to get funding and working closer together. So that was really, really lovely. And I had some really interesting chats about the dilemmas and the excitement of working with other disabled creatives. And it was really, really lovely. And I also found out quite a bit about kind of language and stuff in the United Arab Emirates, which was quite interesting. So yeah, we did a meet and beat. And then we went busking and we earned $50. So to the lady and gentleman who gave us the $50, you're on holiday from Florida. You said you'd be in touch with me, and I really hope you will, because thank you. I bumped into them. They came and met me in a shopping centre afterwards. No, the next day. Like, I was just walking along and someone came up and went, hey, we saw you perform. And I felt like celebrity. They reckon I was so blown away by someone in the middle of nowhere recognising me and saying, oh, we saw you busking yesterday and you touched our hearts. And it made me blub because they were so lovely. So that was really, really lovely. But busking was a great deal of fun. A guy joined us with his dog and also with his harmonica. So we worked out a few key changes to help him jam along, which was great. Yeah. The conference was phenomenal. The panel discussion was really great. We're in a massive room, a huge room in the convention centre, which we got to in an amazing way. Massive glass rooms. The stage we were on was the only accessible stage in the conference, which we were, that was one of the issues for us. We were like in a goldfish bowl and we were wondering who was listening and we were wondering what the impact of our panel discussion would be. Obviously, all the people that turned up for the panel discussion were the right people in the right place, and they did take it on. But we realised we were in a bigger goldfish bowl, and we wondered what influence and impact we would have on the bigger ISME thing. And maybe you can, if you were there, you can let us know in the chat. So busking, conference, panel discussion. I'll tell you more about the conversation on Patreon. Kellycaster went really well. Me and Stefan worked really hard. We then did a gig in his shop. Stefan's got a number of shops all over, a few in Montreal and Toronto, and I forget the other places, but they're called Common Sort. And we did a gig in his shop, and that was really lovely. And the gig went really, really well, and I'll share some clips of that. They'll be up on my socials. We then went to an Irish pub, I think it was called McGibbon's, and we had more Guinness. It was our last night, because the next day we were going home and travelling. So the Irish pub was really nice, and we played Split the G most of the night, which helped us to get quite tiddly. It was great, and the staff were fun and brilliant, and we left lots of beer mats. Big shout out to Teddy and Pauline, who were volunteers who helped me and Dave around, helped me a lot during my time in Canada. They made the trip extra special, just by them being around and being so lovely and kind. They were brilliant. So a big shout out to Teddy and Pauline if you're watching this. Then it was time to go home. It was felt so short. Flight home was great. Interesting enough, you can access the changing places at Montreal Airport. Once you check your bags in, you can go back down to arrivals and do it that way. And I was really worried at first that, you'd have to go through security and you wouldn't be able to get back to arrivals. But yeah, it was just a lift. It was really easy. So know that you can do that. Know that you can. Once you're through security, you can't go back. But if you check your bags in and then hang around down in arrivals rather than departures, obviously you've got to plan getting to the gate in time. So we left about 45 minutes, an hour for that. But again, you can access the change your place toilet at Montreal Airport when you're leaving as well as when you're arriving, which is handy to know. If I'd known that, I might have had another gin and tonic on the flight. Hey! Anyway, we landed home. Then I felt the momentum of the enormity of what we were doing, because as soon as I landed, we were getting ready for the wedding. We had a wedding gig on the Saturday, so we landed on Friday. I said to Laura I'd be home sometime between 12 and 1 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. We landed and we got home by 10 to 1, so I think that's pretty accurate. I think that's pretty impressive. So we did that, got my suit ready, and then I just went to bed and collapsed for a few hours. Laura encouraged me to try and stick to UK time, so I got up and had some dinner with Laura, which was lovely. We had a catch up. That was lovely. Me and my Laura, special times. And then thank you, Laura, for being there. And then it was off to the wedding, and it was beautiful. Again, obviously Patreon, not here. Beautiful, big, massive farm, field, lake, beautiful family, very important to me. Yeah, it was really good. Dave did really well because he was driving that day to get us to the gig. We did the gig. It was really, really lovely. Congratulations to the bride and groom. We did the gig, and yeah, we played as I went down the aisle. It was really special for me. It was such an honour and a privilege to do that sort of thing. Then once we had beautiful food. What did the people, the chefs, do to the potatoes? Because every single table was talking about how beautiful the potatoes were. It was really lovely, really beautiful food, and we had a brilliant table. It was great crack. Yeah, it was a really special day at the wedding, and we were privileged to be part of it. So thank you to the bride and groom and the family for having us along to play at a very special, important moment in your lives. We realised how important it was. I got home really early from the wedding. I missed the bands, which I was a bit sad about, but we had Bestival the next day. And Bestival was another massive gig for us, because the festivals are really important that you do it well. So again, the momentum thing was there. You had this sense of, oh my God, we got to get all these bits and pieces sorted out. Had to get the merch in the van. Had to get, all the bits that we needed for the gig in place. So we did that. The journey was a bit of a nightmare. And so we found the changing places on the M27. So we used that rather than the one at Bestival, which was good news because the one at Bestival was miles away from where I was on the stage. So, yeah. And in the end, actually, the crew at Bestival built me my own private tent, and that was perfect. Thank you. I think it was Jazz who was our stage manager, and she was brilliant. Thank you for being such a brilliant stage manager. And it was really nice to meet Chris from Unmute Red's roster. The journey driving there and driving back, we nearly had a crash on the way there. A driver tried to barge their way onto the motorway, and we had someone overtaking us on the lane outside, so we couldn't go either side. And they nearly ran into us, and if it wasn't for Marcus's brilliant driving, we were close to being in a crash. So that was quite scary, and I think that's probably why I needed to change the places bathroom a bit earlier than was planned. Anyway, Bestival was very, very special. I nearly tipped out my wheelchair, massive hole Bestival crew, don't fill the holes with sand, because if a wheelchair hole goes into the hole, we just sink in the sand, so it doesn't really work. And I really want to thank the guy who dived. Laura grabbed me by the arm as she realised I was falling and was holding me by the arm, but the chair was heavier than me and the chair. So Laura was coming with me, and this guy just literally like a cricket ball dived underneath me and pushed me back up. So if it was you and you watch this YouTube channel, thank you for saving me from falling out of the wheelchair. What brilliant reactions. The gig went really, really well. We had a beautiful audience. Laura did this bit where we, you know, when we do the shamrock you sent me, we hand out the shamrocks. Laura did this thing. I don't know why I likened it to communion, but it was a bit like giving communion. So people were queuing up in front of Laura, and she was giving out all the shamrocks, and it was so beautiful. It was just a moment. I think we might keep that in the gig, Laura. So watch out, Boomtown. So the gig was really, really amazing. A big shout out to little boy who I gave a CD to, because you were just cute and really lovely, and I really appreciated you coming up saying to me that I was really good, because those sorts of little compliments really matter to me. So that was lovely. We had a great crowd. The toilet was great, and the get out and unpacking, we were just exhausted by then, and we need to order more merch. So thank you. That is a little update, a really whirlwind 20 minutes or so short video to let you know what I've been up to. Yeah, I'll add some pictures and some other bits and pieces over on my Patreon. Please consider doing the members thing on my Patreon. It's still free. Everything's going to be free on Patreon. You are able to donate towards my work, but you know, that's your choice. And if you can't afford it, that doesn't matter. It's still free and you can access everything. But it just means I can get a little bit more conversational, a bit more talk about some of my private thoughts, rather than, yeah, we had some, when I do live things on YouTube, sometimes you get rude, silly people who feel like they can say whatever they like to you. And I had a bit of that over in Canada, which I dealt with quite quickly. It doesn't really bother me. You just carry on being a silly person. I'll just ignore you and block you later. That's what you'd have to do, I'm afraid. Because we just want nice, compassionate, kind people. And my life is surrounded by those sorts of people. So thanks to everyone in Canada. Big shout out to my institute, Relab, back in Toronto, and Adam in London, Toronto, for getting me to Canada, Kurt, Jason, Stefan, everyone that was involved with that. Thank you to the wedding party. That was beautiful being with you. Thanks to Unmute Roster for getting me to Bestival. And next on the bill, Friday the 14th of August, Boomtown on the old stage. And on the old stage you go to Shebeen stage, which is an Irish bar type thing, and we'll be knocking out a few tunes there. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen, sausages. Take care of yourself. I hope this has been right. Lots of love. Be lucky. That was a whirlwind in my last couple of weeks. I'm exhausted, but we've still got to keep going just for a little bit longer. Love ya.